Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is True Divine, your daily dose of spiritual guidance. So this is where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring you a narrative that helps you guide your day to your highest potentials, recognizing the energy within you, around you, and within others. Take what resonates. It is general. Leave what does not. There's no offense taken. And please leave a comment. You know, I love hearing from you all, and I love it when you all talk together. It's beautiful. So this is for the 14th of April 2021. On the bottom of the deck, we have got the Queen of Wands, beautiful energy that is creative, abundance, infertility of all kinds, spiritual, physical, sexual. There's an abundance of creativity here. There is a new way of doing things and a new way of being within this energy. She carries the peaceful sunflower, the happy face dial, I call it, and this is a representation of her loving the tranquility in life, loving the peace to create in life, to let other aspects of herself flow forward in order to step away maybe from the busy physical aspects of life in order to have that space of creative juices flowing. She has the black cat here down by her legs. You'll notice that her legs are wide open, and you can tell that very clearly. And this is to speak of this divine sacred energy that's held within the energy of this card, that is represented here of the divine feminine sexual creative energy, and when that is used appropriately, how powerful it is. It's the more hidden side, hence the black cat guarding the space. And this is where we are called upon to treat this space of huge, vast amounts of power with respect and discernment. And so today you might be challenged in that aspect to either be brave enough to let go of things that have held you back in that department. If the frequencies are right, if the match is right, whether it's for yourself or with another, then be brave enough to enter into that, not allow old limitations and wounds to hold you back from that, to be truly creative in that space when this happens in the right timing, with the right frequencies, with the right person. It is powerful, and your manifestation through this practice is enormous. Of course, there is the caveat of the warning of being challenged by or enticed to indulge with another today, this kind of practice, when there is that intuitive voice, that black cat, guarding your very sacred space, your very creative space, your very powerful space, yet vulnerable. And so this is where to have the wisdom and the discernment to treat this space of manifestation, of creation, of fertility with the reverence it deserves, and enter into practices with self and with others with huge amounts of discernment, spiritual cleanliness. And so, because the ramifications of entering into this when you know it's just not right, you can have real spiritual attack from the inner wounds that this stirs up, or you can have certain that and or the physical attachments that then get attracted to you, those people that linger around that you really don't need lingering around, the energy vampires, the narcissists. So it's a powerful day for creative spaces. It's a powerful day for entering into creativity, fertility, creation itself in this sacred space with discernment and with wisdom. It is also a powerful day to meet your new challenges in your new wisdom. If you're entering into, starting to recognize and starting to represent that beautiful, sacred, creative space within you, and you're in the early stages of this and you're working through all of those kinks, all of those labels and limitations that maybe got stuck there throughout life, you might want to use this challenge as a challenge to say, yeah, I don't need to enter into this with the wrong person. I don't need to enter into this with the wrong time. It's okay for me to wait. It's okay for me to say no. And vice versa. If you feel you are ready, then it is a case of you challenging yourself to let go of everything that held you back before. Sorry about Williams being creative up there with his friends. So we have got on the bottom of the other deck the Four of Cups, and you can see here this girl doesn't look very happy. She's hunched over in her shoulders. A lot of you, if you're having that kind of posture, the energies have been putting us in that space a lot, or trying to at least, where the tension is building up in the shoulders. I'll try and find a really good guide for showing you how to, and put it in the description box, the link, for showing you how to do simple practices at home that can release. He helps me release parts of your back that has got trapped air. It feels very hunched over, and keep an eye on your posture. Tell yourself, remind yourself, I have to do it all the time, to straighten up the spine and breathe down into the spine, so it'll bring you great relief. That tension is building up there because you're feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. So it's important that you try and enter into that creative space we've just been speaking to, in order to relax into a space where you're not feeling this tension in your spirit, in your physical, in your mental, in your emotional bodies. And so doing practical things like the guy I'll try and find and put in the description box, and also pushing yourself to do something creative. I see some of you working with clay today and creating things with clay. That is a super grounding experience. I love working with clay, the cool clay on your hands, it being earth, and being able to mold it and find your flow and creativity in that. Some of you making awesome things in clay. Send me pictures if you're on Facebook, so I can see you doing it right now. Getting your hands messy, feeling that space will help you relieve the physical tension also. There's some of you that need to be looking at this, not just fixing the physical aspects like I've just mentioned, and ignoring it by going into that creative space. Get yourself spiritually clean before you enter into that, particularly the ones that are working with clay. And allow yourself to analyze and look at, what is it that I'm so upset about? What is it that I'm not seeing? Where have I forgotten that I used to enjoy? The things in life that I used to enjoy, where have they gone? What part of me let go of them? When did I succumb to that? When did I let go of that aspect of me that helped me not be hunched over, helped me not feel the tension, that helped me get into that creative space? These are important questions. Answer yourself as you question yourself with that. Hold yourself to account so that you can enter into your space of creativity in full flow, rather than carrying that over. You analyze it, you transmute it, and then you let it flow and transmute further by doing something after the analyzing portion of this. And it means you get much better results spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Because there's that one cup there in the upright. There is still parts of your life that you can either grab onto, or that you can delve into, new experiences that are there that do bring you bliss, that do bring you flow and balance. But the concentration on these three cups, which has already been spilt, it's already gone to ground, it's already been absorbed. You're staying in that focus point, and it's doing you no good. If that resonates with you today, there's a general feeling of this in the collective also, where there are people coming up with great and brilliant ideas, creative ways of doing things. I was so pleased today. I had farmers knock at my door, and they are rallying round, thinking outside the box, realizing they're looking at the elements around them and realizing that people are sick of the fact that corporations have been bailed out, allowed to stay open. The same rules do not apply to the smaller businesses. And so farmers are so important in this because it takes them a while, but they've been in a stranglehold in the UK, in America, in Australia, in India for a long time, but they're hardworking people and they are grounded people for sure. And so it's great to see them starting to not just see and recognize and use the elements around them or avoid the elements around them in their day-to-day work, but also starting to put their business hats on and start to be able to look at the elements and the things that are happening in the world and act on that. And I feel they're really, in the UK, by doing this, knocking on people's doors, talking to them, giving them the number, setting up the deliveries. So they're taking the aspects of business in corporations that have been creative, you know, setting up delivery dates for different streets, giving somebody an easy number to be able to ring, having somebody in the office taking those orders, being able to pay through PayPal, direct debit. They don't accept cash, but you know, they're thinking outside of the box and managing to, I hope and I manifest on their behalf, merge into the world of and delving into picking up on the fact that people are sick of corporations being like this with government and the smaller businesses being strangleheld, being choked out. So that's one just example of how you start to think and concentrate on the cups that is there, that is upright, and get creative in how you focus in on that and help that grow and manifest into more that really fills you up emotionally, that makes you feel good. Now, in the first card, we've got the Two of Wands. The two keeps coming up, this dual, this separation, the duality, the choices, the frequency separation. The number two keeps coming up. So the Two of Wands, and this card in particular keeps coming up. So the Two of Wands is, now I want to say from something that came through just while I was shuffling and this came out, looking at America, if I heard that Biden won't make the Iran deal. He won't make the Iranian deal. Israel will get its way. And I really feel that this is so, sorry, I'm going to switch that off. This is so intrinsic that people that get ahead and start making a noise and protesting, but not out in the streets protesting against it. We're trying to get ahead now to preempt what they're doing and making a noise preemptively. So I want people to make a noise with this, to start digging deep into this for themselves, particularly in America, but it does affect worldwide because there is this game, this dance, and Israel is causing a lot of havoc and sitting back in the distraction, the very real distraction of the Ukraine and Russia. And as I said, Biden, you know, pushing that along. When I say Biden, we all know it's the beings behind him. So you get ahead of that where you can in your trade. This is talking about trade. This is talking about international trade. This is talking about business deals, ideas, embryonic ideas. It's the Two of Wands. The Three of Wands goes into the action. The Two of Wands is the embryonic ideas, the planning, the thinking, but be creative with this thinking, like the farmers that I mentioned. Look for the truths that farmers are actually speaking out. They give a really good, at the minute anyway, a really good insight into the direction that these governments are trying to push the world. And it is this one world order thing. You can see it happening, you can feel it happening. And we do need to get ahead of this and take note of the different sectors that actually are so important, and we've lost the importance of them. So leave a comment if you come across this thing I'm feeling with farmers actually making a noise today, more of a noise than they already have. And so I feel like there's something going to happen in India, to be honest, that it makes headlines. And I hope nobody gets harmed in that, but it involving a farmer. So we've got the hot water bottle, so it's making a noise, I think. So as far as individual lives, take note, jump ahead, think outside of the box, look at what they are doing and getting away with and working well, and try and plan and mold your business idea, your trade idea, your contracts to that. Not every aspect of it, but the parts that are working, and the parts that, let's face it, right now we've gone too far down the line, we can't get away from. It speaks a lot about love still today, because there's a bit of a love story going on that is for quite a few of you, falling for somebody who is overseas from yourself. Yes, 1 second, I'll just pause this. Hold on. Oh, adorable. So there is this love story going on, and it does speak of overseas, making strong connections with people who live quite far away for quite a few of you. It speaks about taking a leap forward in making that connection more secure, more known, speaking out more serious words regarding love. This is the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups, you're sort of taking that leap in some kind of planning today for some of you, trying to figure out a way to actually physically meet. It also speaks to great friendship connections happening, and that's the beautiful thing that's been happening throughout this whole gestational spell. People have been finding one another, they've been finding like-minded, like-hearted people, and that's not just on a scope of lovers, but very much so on a scope of brothers and sisters becoming staunch friends. And so there's more connections to be made here today. For some of you who haven't heard from somebody and they pop up in your mind, please make that connection. Please send that message. You don't know how powerful it will be for the person that's popping up in your mind, just to know that somebody psychically, intuitively picked up on them, and regardless of what you can do physically, just that message alone will lift their spirits high. And that's super powerful, to be putting that kind of frequency out in the midst of what is going on right now. We've got a repetitive card in the Four of Cups again. This is where we are concentrating. The balance is to be had, because we've got the Ace of Swords to clarify the Four of Cups. So this speaks of clarity, of finding your drive, finding your purpose, your organization, your clear way of thinking. This speaks of being lost in your emotions, concentrating on what's lost and not what you can gain. So it's about bringing clarity into perspective here, into your introspection, because right now this is where you're not seeing where the gifts are in your life. You're bogged down, if this resonates with you, but there is clarity here, and there is bliss here, there is gifts here that you can, they're sort of foggy to you. So bringing in that clarity again, what we've said from the two on the bottom of the deck cards up until now will help you bring that clarity, will help lift that emotional fog that is sort of blurring your vision from that is there, but just you're so detached from it, you're so concentrative on the Three of Cups rather than the one that's being handed to you, that you can't see. And so this does speak also to people who have loved and lost, and where there is new relations being built in both lovers and friendships, there's still some things to look at within for some of you that are limiting the gift and the abundance that these connections can make because of past hurts. Some of you in the spiritual community are experiencing disappointment in what seems like on every aspect. There's been a lot of fraud, there's been a lot of piggybacking, and there's been a lot of people wanting to make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make a heck of a lot of money. I want to get my kids their land. But there's people who are maybe getting some clarity, and there's this disappointment on that regarding certain spiritual leaders that have been losing the plot of late and losing perspective of late. And so this is where, again, it all comes back to self, because through this disappointment, through this maybe disappointment of plans not going ahead as you'd thought, in the awakening story, this is where clarity needs to be brought in. And you do that by asking yourself, why the level of disappointment? Yes, because certain plans didn't go ahead. Yes, because certain things that were said didn't happen. Okay, so that's the clarity of it. So why did I feel so attached to that? What is it that I wanted to change within those plans? What changes did I want them to make? How do I then represent that in my own life and start to take my power back and make those changes for me, and start from the within to the without again? This is where the clarity comes in, and this is where you reopen yourself to these new friendships, these new connections, particularly worldwide, particularly overseas from yourself. We've got the Page of Wands as the next card, and this is about as I described with the farmers, being able to take into account the environment and the things going on around you, to be so connected to not just the two eyes, the ears, the nose, the physical things that we are so used to using, but to be able to take into account in a heartbeat which way the wind's blowing, which way, how much water our seeds need today, things like that. Being able to have things have such a connection that it's a split-second thing, and being able to be observant in that takes flow, going back to the Queen of Wands, being able to relax into yourself, to not be so fixed, to not be so tunnel visioned as to how things have to look or how things have to work. The Page of Wands is happy for the experience also, as well as the destination or the goal. And it does bring forward, again, messages. And so with it being fire, these are very creative, fiery, in some cases, passionate messages being passed along the line. And that's a beautiful thing. It's an exciting thing. It gets people's fires stoked again. Now, we've got the Judgment card to clarify the Page of Wands. And this is where it's called, what's it called in here? Arising. And you can see it's a beautiful card. The lady's sleeping while the spirit male is leaving as arising. And this speaks to something I mentioned before, as in past loves that were lost. What are you still holding on to there that is limiting your experience now, or that is fogging your experience now? What things that maybe were left unsaid, what things that feel like loose ends, or there feels like there's a connection there, but that connection isn't serving you. So particularly in love and past loves, it's time today to really look at what is still there that needs to be let go of, that needs to vaporize from you. Some of you have been dreaming about past loves a lot recently, and it feels unexplainably, because you think you've moved on, you've done all of that, it's all done and dusted, There's things within these dreams that'll give you the clues as to, okay, what do I need to look at within me in order to be able to let go of that in my subconscious that is driving my ability to connect to others in my present and in my future. And so this is where we look at what we can leave behind and what serves us to take it forward. It's the judgment of our journey thus far. It's not a final judgment. It's not allowing others to judge us. It's us being brave enough to know self enough to speak to ourselves honestly. And if we can't let go of something that our intuition knows we should, then we dig deeper and we ask why. If we can't quite grasp the bull by the horns as to something that we know we should be able to go forward with or that we want to attain, we ask ourselves why. Why do we fear the greatness? Why do we fear the attention? Why do we fear the success? And so there's a lot to do with this, doing this in your sleep. It feels like that's one way of your emotions getting out of the way, to be quite honest, with the Four of Cups showing up twice, for you, your subconscious, to be able to breathe a bit and put the storyline in dreams in the creative way that the Wands suit does and is. So take notes after your dreams. It'll make sense to you as you go along the way. You'll be able to dig deeper and deeper to clear those inner grounds, to make them fertile, to be spiritually cleansed. There's a lot about ritualistic cleansing today. Being in bodies of water, having candles on, having a flame, doing some flame watching is very powerful for those that want to seek and find aspects of themselves that they've lost, particularly in the creative field or the exciting, enthusiastic field of business. And what you used to love to do, to work, or what your dream was to do, with that Two of Wands with the trade. So it's a bit of a mixed reading, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but our lives are a bit mixed and a bit of a mixed bag each and every day. And it's that we have these different bodies of self, the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, but also we have that is then merging with others as other people's bodies of self. And then also these are not separate compartments, just like the organs within the body work together, have their individual roles, have their individual consciousness, but still work together as a system. Life does merge a lot more than this categorized, algorithmic way of thinking. So when we lift ourselves up in one aspect, it has a good effect on the other aspects of self and vice versa. And so it is about love, and it is about trade, and it is about thinking outside the box today. And it is about clearing yourself, spiritually cleansing yourself, particularly in bodies of water. And like I said, with a flame, a candle beside you would be a super powerful combination. When you're looking at the things, if you're in a bath, let's say, or you're in a river and you're looking at the things that you know you need to let go of, and you have a flame there at the ready, just a small candle, and you're visualizing that, you're transmuting the energy, and then you do the physical practice, a focus point for your consciousness to focus in on and increase the intent. Then you can just, wet the candle. It dries in minutes, and then you can light it again and go again. And when you want to say, yeah, I'm going to fire myself up and go forward in that direction. Why did I forget I was capable of that? Or why did I limit myself to think I wasn't capable of that? Have two candles, have one at the ready to light it again. So you have those two flames, those two wands. Be representative, be symbolic. It's powerful. There's a reason that the so-called powers that be live by it and do as they're told by it. The colors that they wear on certain days, the codes that they use, the words that they use. And they don't all consciously know that they're using it, but they know there's power in it because they're successful within it. And so there's power there for us also to take back, and that comes back to the Four of Cups also, seeing where the power lies, not where the weakness lies, but seeing where the power lies. When things, outside forces, people are constantly trying to get us to concentrate on a weakness, even when they do it out of seemingly kindness, you know, that's not kind, that's passive aggressive, that's limiting, and they're usually doing this from their own insecurities. So we don't want to be living by other people's limits and other people's insecurities about themselves and therefore us. So that's the reading for the 14th of April 2021. I appreciate you all, love you all, sending you much balance, love and wholeness. Mwah. Oh, if you want a personal reading, spiritual coaching, or any energy work, you can hit me up at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me on Facebook again at truedivine44. Drop me a private message. I appreciate all the new clients. You don't know what you do. Thank you so much. Let's build business, let's build life, let's build love, let's build the happiness and take back what is our birthright, what is ours to rightfully take. Love you all. Bye.